Everyone knows that AI has been making millions, but did you know that you can use it to make money in crypto? As it so happens, you can actually use AI to find the next 1000x moonshot. And today we're going to show you exactly how you can use AI to find crypto gems and tell you about a few other AI tools you can use to maximize your crypto gains. Let's dig in. Before we go any further though, there's something I need to make clear. I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video should be considered financial or investment advice. This is purely educational content which hopefully provides you with a bit of entertainment as well. So with that out of the way, let's begin. If you've been following this channel for some time, you'll know that we take pride in giving you the highest quality crypto content out there. And we do this by researching every crypto topic and crypto project from top to bottom, leaving no stone left unturned. While this is what we're best known for, it does take time, a luxury not many have. Thankfully, as technology advances, there are new ways to DYOR, some of which can save you hours of precious time. The proliferation of artificial intelligence, or AI, can be used to quickly determine if an opportunity is worth exploring or if you could put your time to better use. After all, time is money. However, we should make a few things clear right off the bat. While AI can be a powerful tool to help you do your research, it's far from perfect. As such, you shouldn't exclusively rely on AI tools to do your research for you. Instead, you're much better off using AI to kickstart your research, which you can then follow up on manually. This is something that many researchers at the Coin Bureau have been doing. And if you're wondering which tool they've been using, the answer is Perplexity, which provides the sources it used to generate responses, so you can verify the information yourself. And this is important because lots of AI responses can be inaccurate or outright garbage. This underscores the fact that regardless of which AI tool you do use, you should never use an AI response to guide your investment decisions. Remember, AI should only be used to speed up your research, but not to replace it. The trick to using AI in your crypto research is to use the best prompts to shape the answers you get in return. And this can be tricky, but don't worry, we'll give you a few examples throughout the video to help you out. Also, a pro tip before we go any further. Unless the questions you're asking are a direct follow-on from a previous response, we recommend using a new chat stream for each search. That's simply because AI chatbots these days will remember the information they've been providing in previous answers so far, and this can actually confuse future responses. Anyway, for the purposes of this video, we'll be using ChatGPT, since it's probably the one that most of you are familiar with. And if you want to learn more about ChatGPT and other popular AI tools, you can refer to our video about that using the link in the description. Oh, and before we get stuck in, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a boost by punching those like and subscribe buttons. And drop kick that bell as well so you catch our next one. So then, with that out of the way, let's start by finding a crypto to research in the first place. And this is where AI quickly reveals its powerful potential. And that's because you can quickly identify multiple projects in one sweep. Best of all, you can get a brief summary of each of them to know exactly what you're dealing with. For example, let's say you're interested in a particular narrative, but you're not sure which specific crypto is worth your hard-earned cash. Normally, you'd have to sift through sites like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, find a list of cryptos that fall under that category, and then go through each of them individually. With AI, though, this can be done in seconds. But remember, it's all about those prompts. A neat trick is to ask your chatbot to summarize multiple white papers in simple terms, and you can even have the list of results ranked if you'd prefer. So, as an example, let's look for projects in the deepen narrative. For this, we'll use the following prompt. Summarize crypto white papers within the decentralized physical infrastructure deepen narrative. Keep everything easy to understand. Give each project an overall rating out of 10 based on technological innovation, likelihood of mass adoption, and whether it is currently undervalued. Now, as you can see, this simple search gave our AI chatbot a handful of specific parameters to use. Because it knew exactly what we were looking for, it was able to narrow down the list to just 7 promising crypto projects, including Helium, Filecoin, Render Network, Arweave, and a few others. We got an overview of each project, a quick explanation of the tech, the potential for mass adoption, and even an analysis on the project's relative value. It's pretty awesome, right? But say we can't decide between 2 projects in the list. Well, we can use a follow-on to focus specifically on the ones we want to compare. So let's use AI to compare 2 fairly similar projects, Filecoin and Arweave, both of which are focused on decentralized data storage. Since this is a direct follow-on and our chatbot remembers what's been said so far, we'll use a simple prompt. Compare Filecoin or Phil with Arweave or AR. Okay, cool. We can now see that Filecoin offers a decentralized marketplace for storage rental, whereas Arweave focuses on permanent and immutable data storage. We can also compare the 2 projects across a few metrics, like their consensus mechanisms, how they generate fee revenue, and the pros and cons of each. We even get a handy table at the end that makes everything super simple.
The Coin Bureau Deals page. It won't make you stronger, but it will make you better at crypto.
Now, once you've selected one of the cryptos from your list, you'll want to check its pulse. After all, if a project has been abandoned by its team or its community, it's basically, well, dead in the water. Normally, this step involves going through every social media tied to that project, everything from a project's X to its Telegram account, Discord, and even GitHub accounts. And this gives you a sense of how much engagement a project is generating from investors and how active the team actually is. We'd also go scrolling through the project's blog posts and check every reputable crypto news site out there for any recent headlines. And then we'd check out if there are any interviews with the project's founders or other key members of the team for updates about the project's milestones and roadmap. As you can imagine, this can sometimes be the most time-consuming part of doing crypto research. But we can now leverage AI to do the legwork for us and potentially save ourselves several precious hours. So let's take a project from our previous list. Let's go with Helium. Note that we'll be using Helium going forward for the purposes of this video, but this process would be the same no matter which crypto or narrative you do indeed choose. So just like the last section, we'll start a new chat stream and use a prompt that should tell us if the project we're looking at is alive. For this, we entered, analyze the activity levels on Helium HNT. Tell me how many followers it has on social media platforms. Check out how frequently the team updates the project's GitHub. Check if Helium has been covered by any reputable news sites lately. Also, analyze recent interviews with the founders or the team. From this, we can now see that Helium has a few 100,000 followers on X and is even followed by other industry professionals on LinkedIn. The GitHub activity looks good and the project has been featured across various crypto news sites. On top of this, we can see that the team have spoken in interviews about expanding Helium's use cases and are working on collaborations with the various partners to explore new avenues. Nice. Now, if you're happy that the crypto you've chosen has a solid use case, has an active community, and a team that's consistently building, then it's time to take your AI research further and dig a little deeper. What you want to do here is build up some background that will help you make an informed decision about the future potential of your project. So you'll want to know when the project was founded and by who, and you'll also want to know about their motivations. As in, what issues were the founders trying to address, and how have they gone about addressing them? And while we're at it, we should find out if the team has any relevant, past experience. As for the project itself, you'll want to know how it works under the hood. So it would be good to know what consensus mechanism it uses and how scalable it is. You might have already had a brief explanation of the consensus mechanism, but you'll want to know more about this in detail. And finally, you'll want to know about any key partnerships and if the project you're looking at could possibly be tied to another one in some way. All in all, there's a lot to cover here. Now, sticking with our helium example, we'll open a new chat stream since this isn't a direct follow-on, and we'll use a single prompt to save time. So what we entered into our AI chatbot is as follows. Explain helium HNT to me in simple terms. Tell me who founded the project, why they started it, and how helium will solve the problems it's trying to address. Explain helium's consensus mechanism and tell me about how scalable the project is. Are there any notable partnerships, and is helium linked to any other crypto projects? Now, as you'd probably expect, the answer we got back was quite long. If you really wanted to cut your research time down, you could always use a follow-on and ask for it to be condensed down into simple terms. But we recommend you stick to the slightly longer response here because this is where all the juicy details will be. Our AI reveals that Helium had 3 founders, one of whom previously founded Napster, which some of you might remember was a popular peer-to-peer music file sharing application. We also learn that Helium aims to disrupt the mainstream broadband companies that cost a fortune and yet don't always provide you with good coverage. We learn a bit about Helium's hotspots, and we now know that they're used for Helium's proof of coverage consensus mechanism. We also have a few names for partnerships and what each of these companies does. And here's a handy tip for you. If any part of the response you get is too technical, you can use a follow-up to understand how the project would work IRL. And this will help you visualize a concept that could otherwise be gibberish. So let's use a follow-up here and ask ChatGPT to explain proof of coverage using a real-world example. We now have a response that compares Helium to living in a small town, where people have installed hotspots to power up IoT devices like dog collars and weather sensors, allowing them to earn HNT as a reward. Not sure about you, but this concept suddenly becomes much clearer. So now that we've determined what makes our project tick, there's just a few more things we need to check. The next thing you'll want to do is ask your AI chatbot to break down the project's tokenomics. Now, if tokenomics is something you find a bit confusing, then we'd highly recommend you check out one of our previous videos that explains everything you need to know. We'll have a link to that in the description for your convenience. Assuming that you're comfortable with tokenomics, you'll now want to determine several factors. And these include things like token supply and emissions, and what the token is actually used for. You'll want to know the demand drivers for your crypto, and you'll also want to know how the governance of the project works. After all, this will shape its future success. You'll be glad to know that because tokenomics incorporates most of this by nature, we can keep the prompt surprisingly simple. For our Helium example, we created a new chat stream and entered the following. Tell me everything I need to know about Helium's tokenomics. Keep it simple. From this alone, we can see that Helium's HNT had no maximum supply to start with, but was later capped at 223 million HNT. We learn that HNT is used to reward hotspot providers as well as accessing certain network services. We also see that initially there were 5 million HNT distributed monthly, but Helium goes through a halving every 2 years, similar to Bitcoin's BTC. We learn that Helium has 2 other tokens, both of which can be converted into HNT, and there's also details about a burn mechanism too. Not bad for a quick search, eh? Okay, the last thing we want to do is analyze a few on-chain metrics. So we want to find out which exchanges our crypto is listed on and what trading volumes it's experiencing. This will tell you if the price is legit or if it's been manipulated by whales on some shady offshore exchange. And more about that in our video about it right over here. It would also be good to know the circulating supply and if any tokens are subject to any vesting schedules. So let's use our AI chatbot for one last time, eh? As you'll have guessed, we'll open up a new chat stream and let our AI know what we're looking for in our prompt. In our example, we entered, analyze helium's on-chain metrics such as market listings, trading volume, circulating supply, and vesting schedules. Include any other useful info and keep it simple. From this, we can see that Helium's HNT is listed on the largest exchanges, which are home to tens of millions of dollars worth of daily trading volume. We can see that of the 223 million max supply of HNT, 172 million HNT are currently in circulation, and according to the results, there are no vesting schedules mentioned in the immediate search results. Okay, folks, by this point, you should have plenty of information to make an informed decision about your investment. Although, we should reiterate what we said at the start. You should always double-check these responses, particularly if your AI gave you a response that didn't sit well with you for whatever reason. Now, we've covered a lot here, and yet this is just the tip of the iceberg of what AI can achieve. There are new tools being developed by the day, and there's already a bunch of AI trading bots out there to make investing fully automated. Although we would definitely advise caution with this one, and you'll have to do your own research on that. Feel free to check out our blog post on it, which will of course be linked below. Now, hopefully you can see that AI can be a powerful tool to help you dig deep into a project very quickly. Just remember not to use it exclusively. You can think of this as a way to speed up your research rather than replace it entirely. On top of this, some AIs will allow plugins. And so we thought we'd end today's video with a little bonus for you by telling you about 3 ChatGPT plugins that you could find very useful. Just be aware though that these will require a ChatGPT Plus account, which costs around $20 per month, FYI. Now, these tools aren't absolutely necessary, but they will help you take your AI research to the next level. To access these, head to the menu on the left and select Explore GPTs. Search for the one you want and click Start Chat. The first is DeFi Llama's plugin. Now, most of you would have probably used DeFi Llama at some point to check all sorts of on-chain data. Well, this plugin lets you search DeFi Llama for multiple data points at once, such as TVL across multiple chains, the top gainers and losers of the week, and even emerging trends. And this can help you quickly identify where the next opportunity could be. The next plugin is called Smarter Contracts, which is a tool you can use to analyze a token's smart contract address for any blockchain that's EVM compatible. What's great is that it can detect if a token is a potential scam by checking for any suspicious functions or transaction history. And this plugin would be a godsend for any meme coin degens out there looking to avoid getting wrecked by a honeypot scam. And finally, for those of you so obsessed with crypto that you dream about stacking sats in your sleep, this last one could be for you. It's called Crypto Jobs List, and as the name suggests, could present you with opportunities to work in the most innovative industry in the world. And trust us, folks, as the market goes into overdrive, there's nowhere we'd rather be. Okay, that's all for today, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you found this video useful, give it a boost by giving it a like and subscribe as well. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to make sure you get more content like this. And if you know someone you think could benefit from this video, why don't you take a second to share it with them? Thank you all very much for watching this video on AI. But now it's time for me to fly. So this is Nick saying goodbye.